First of all, John and Beth are related to me, are related to my late wife. She and Beth are sisters. Of course, John, I've known them most of their life. Beth was the youngest in the family, of course, and so I've known them from a family connection as well as watched them as they progressed through their professional career through the years and everything. So I have been able to observe their accomplishment, saw where they started from, what the hard work and dedication and being focused on a goal, how they've been able to be very successful. Well, I think this speaks well of both of their background. They understood what it was to start from very not any silver spoon in their mouth, let's say, and to make the best of the opportunities they had. Of course, this started in the early years and then continued through Etowamba and on as they went to senior college, and then, of course, the career that John has had with Exxon. But paying it forward has done not surprise me that they would want to do this. John and Beth have, not only do they have a fine family of their own with 3 daughters and everything, but they know what it is to help somebody get an edge. And by doing what they've done, taking advantage of the opportunities they've had in collaboration with Exxon, of course, they've been able to make a meaningful contribution to the programs here at Alumnus, which will benefit students into the future. And I think they're good examples of what a community college is meant to be. And to take advantage of the opportunities from an education, academic point of view, then to build on that with a senior college, and then be ready to go into a career where they could make an impact in their corporate life. Well, of course, I cannot speak for them. I know they're proud to have it. And as I understand, they're the first husband and wife team to get it. And I think this is very unique that they would. Yes, as a matter of fact, a quarter century ago, I saw in the paper the other day as flashbacks that I received this award, and it meant a great deal to me. Of all the honors that I have had the opportunity to receive, I consider this to be a signal honor because of what the community college meant to me, and I think I can understand what it means not only to me, but what it means to the Clevelands and what it means to many others who've come through here, and of course the impact that it will have into the future. And this is a way to recognize people. Some of us maybe might not fully deserve the attention we got, but I think we're all proud to say that we have the title of being Alumnus of the Year at some time in our career.
All right, now this is an opportunity where we give you the open floor to address John and Beth and tell them congratulations.
Well, certainly I want to extend my best wishes for this particular day and the occasion for John and Beth. They're certainly deserving. I suspect that Etowamba will continue to benefit not only from what's already been established, but for things that might be put in place in the future. And I know they would want folks who see this or who are aware of this to say, hey, I'd like to be a part of this in the future myself.
First of all, we're very honored to be selected as the Alumnus of the Year. Quite frankly, very honored that they selected both Beth and I together. We've been in our relationship for many, many years and all the things that we do. Our family taught us hard work and helping others, and never forget those whom you help. So we're happy to be part of this great college, and we're very honored and humble.
Well, I think that when you've been given much, you need to give back. And so I feel like we never can give enough. And I always feel like you gain a whole lot more. You're blessed much more by giving than keeping it or receiving. So I always feel like I always find much more joy in being able to give and help others. So that's what I'm most proud of, is that we've been able to do so. And I want to continue to do that and help those who I feel like give them the chance to do better for themselves, and most importantly is to maybe give them a chance to have education and go. I think that's the most important thing we could possibly do, is to help others to further their education.
Education is a cornerstone of economic development, and for us, having grown up here in the county, had great families, hardworking families that supported us, encouraged us to achieve our objectives, achieve your potential, really. And I think by going to high school here and then coming to ICC really gave us an opportunity and a foundation to, to continue to matriculate. And that learning, I think, has helped us as we've kind of gone through life, because it's certainly given us a chance to learn how to study, learn how to compete. I played on the Indian basketball team here. Certainly I wasn't as skilled as many others, but I had to learn how to compete athletically and also in the classroom as well. And I think that's helped me all through life, and certainly for my children as well, who've learned that too.
Yeah, I think when I think about ICC, I think about home. We grew up with ICC a part of our home, and I remember as a young child, my parents brought me to the football games. They played on Saturday afternoons then, and we went to all the basketball games. And so when I think about ICC, I think about that was just part of my upbringing. That was just part of, being a part of the community. And so that's what I think about. Probably more than going to college here, I think about maybe when I was even younger, of ICC being a part of Fulton and growing up here and my parents taking me to all the sporting events. So.
I would add one more item to that. We've lived across the United States and looked at many community college systems in the states in which that we live, and this state has second to none. And ICC Absolutely. Is probably one of the best that we have certainly seen. I know it's the best here in the state, and then of all that we've seen in Virginia, Texas, New Jersey, Tennessee, other places. It is a high caliber college, and I think you come for the first couple of years to really get that foundation, and it provides the ability to succeed beyond. So we think that it's probably one of the best in the nation, and hopefully ranks up there when the statistics come out. That's a question that goes all the way back to probably when we were very young, with our parents and our families here. Have always been ingrained in the community in which that we've lived, whether it be in Fairview where I grew up, or whether it be in Fulton where Beth and surrounding areas. Our parents and grandparents were all from farming communities, and you help people. And we're always taught that if you need help, someone will help you. If others need help, you go help them. There wasn't really a question of should I do it, it's just what you do. And that's something that we've learned through the years, that that's your duty. Just recently, as we live in Houston, Texas, and specifically our neighborhood of Kingwood, we had a lot of flooding. We were very fortunate that our home did not flood, but we had many neighbors who did. So you feel a little bit of guilt that it happened to them, and I'm part of them. Therefore, I have to go and help them. And we spent a week, working in that. But again, that comes from our upbringing of this is who we are and what we do.
I just think that we're taught that in the Bible. I think we are taught to help others, and that's what's expected of us. And I'm just so thankful that we get to do that, because growing up, never had the thought that we would be able to have enough money to even give somebody money, because growing up, you just lived. It's not that you did without, but it wasn't as though you grew up with a lot of extra. And so the thought that you would be able to have anything extra to give away other than food or, just help, I just feel so thankful that we've been blessed that way, and I'm just so happy to be able to give it away. I think that's just what you should do.
I remember going back to high school when we both competed in high school basketball. Both played point guard for IAHS, and I certainly wanted to continue to play beyond that. And I do remember the day that Wayne Newsom, and Mike Nanny had said, "We're going to give you a chance to play." And they said something during that is that you have a work ethic that's second to none, and I thought that was pretty cool. At the time I didn't really think about it that much, other than I'm going to get a chance to play beyond high school. So I thought that was pretty cool. Then I recognized that who I was competing with were way far superior than I, so I had to up my game a fair bit. So that was an early memory. I think studying, we talk about this a lot. Jamie McDonald, a good friend of ours here from Fulton, we all studied together many late nights to the point where I'm sure we probably gained nothing from those late nights, but that was a pretty cool experience to have to go through, because we really learned friendship, relationship, and really how to compete in the classroom, really what it took to succeed in the academic realm. So that was a pretty neat experience. You might have that chemistry laboratory.
One of the funniest things that ever occurred was we were in Mr. Parham's chemistry lab, me and a guy named Terry Dillard, who grew up in Saltillo. And he and I were working, and we sort of were not paying as close of attention as we should have been. And instead of pouring the acid into the water, we poured water into the acid, and it came out and it went all over my jeans that I had on and some of his clothes, and it started eating my jeans right there.
Yeah.
And so we kept those jeans. I did keep them and put them on a scarecrow for several years.
Probably 20 years that
and
we went with
my
us.
kids, every year I was like, okay, they were like, "Oh, those jeans are just awful." I'm like, "Well, this is what happened," and I just kept them because it was so funny that it occurred. So every time we see Terry, he still talks about,
Speaks of that.
you know what, we almost got killed in that lab. So that's really
lifelong friend.
made
Made lifelong friends. Yeah.
So
I'll give you
that's
two-
really the funniest thing that occurred.
Yeah, two other quick items. One is H.D. McGee, who's the mayor here of Fulton, and he helped a lot of people. He certainly helped me. He gave me a job at the Fulton Telephone Company while I was going to school, and I show up one Saturday morning to work, and he looked over at me and said, "Hey, the announcer for the ICC game at the time was IJC. The IJC game is sick, can't announce today, so instead of going out on the truck, you're going to announce a football game." I'm looking like, "Are you sure you got the right person?" And he said, "Yeah, go home, put on your clothes." I had my work boots on. "Go home, put on your clothes, meet me back at the stadium." So I got the opportunity to announce an ICC football game at a relatively young age. I'm sure I was pretty horrible, but later on in life I ended up in Virginia being the announcer for our lacrosse and field hockey and football there. So you never know what opportunities might come your way. It did teach me one thing, and that is to always be prepared. As an Eagle Scout, I always thought that, but I wasn't always prepared, I'm sure, but now I even teach my workforce that have your elevator speech ready. You never know when you're going to be able to deliver it. The fondest memory for us is Beth and I were engaged while we were attending here at ICC, so that was probably a good 33 years ago. We've been married 32, so that's probably the happiest memory I should say on camera. Yeah, this again is, we're very humbled and honored by being presented the award. We certainly never expected it. As we've kind of rolled through life, we've been coming back to Fulton here, visiting with friends and visiting with, people here at the college. Became close friends with several. Bill Miles, a family member, Joey Cox, Patty, Deborah Tierce, my Uncle Wayne. Many people who've been connected, to the college. As we spoke to them about an opportunity to give back, and they were all very helpful. David Cole, I think in the early days, Mike Eaton, and so forth. They all were very encouraging, and there's always an opportunity, to participate and be involved with the college. And we appreciate that. We appreciate the opportunity to really reinforce education. That is why we are where we are today and sitting in this chair, is the education that we received here, and the education, particularly of a few of the professors and instructors, Jim Long, Herb Parham, Ken Bishop, Dixie Russell, Billy Sneed. I can remember those, sitting in those classes, Charles Riley, on the humanities side, so I'm sure I'm forgetting someone. But there's a lot of people that influenced our lives, and now that we've gotten a little older in life, we get a chance to reflect upon those who touched our lives, and then you kind of sit down and think, what can we do to help others? Whether that's financial or whether it's penning a letter, making a phone call. Today in this day and age, we text with a lot of people just to give encouragement of those who are kind of working through, and those who receive scholarships here that might have our name on it. We just hope that it inspires them in some way, because particularly here and also at Ole Miss, people gave to us, and they never really know what that meant. But we've taken the time to go back and thank all of them, and then by also maybe helping others, hopefully it will spur a generation, to give back in some way, your talents, your time, your energy, finances, whatever it might be. Make the community better.
I just would like to say thank you to our families. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we are today with encouragement. And our parents were deceased, and I wish that they were here to, see what occurred with us. I mean, we had become somewhat successful before they died, but I hate that they didn't get to see this, but they would have enjoyed seeing us. But I'm thankful to my family and John's family that, they've encouraged us, and we were one of the few of our family that moved away, and they didn't make us feel guilty for moving away, because that was the opportunity he had for a career, and so I'm thankful for them for the encouragement.
Yeah, I think many of those will be in attendance with us, today, and it's a good way to say thank you to them, because without them, certainly, we would not have had opportunity even to attend college here, or even further at Ole Miss. And spent a fair bit of time mentoring, and actually this past week I've been recruiting students at Ole Miss for ExxonMobil, the company in which that I work. And the values that we have are beginning with integrity and honesty. There's no degree for those. You may be of higher intellect, but there's no degree of integrity and honesty. Either you are or you aren't. So those are foundational. Creativity, the ability to overcome adversity. If you fail, which is one of the questions that I ask each of my potential candidates, I want to know the most horrible story where you failed. What did you learn from it, and how did you overcome it? Because if you have not been able to overcome adversity, then you probably don't know how to navigate life. So that's certainly something that we value. Diversity. As Beth and I have lived across the United States and traveled the world, you find that ideas come from different cultures, different races, different socioeconomic backgrounds, different genders. And we value that as a company, we value that as a society, and I think that everyone has something to contribute. And I believe that is very, very important. The other part of it is have a work ethic second to none. Refuse to lose whatever skills you have. Do your personal best. You may not be the best, but do your personal best each day when you get up and compete.
I think it's an attitude. So you can either choose to be happy or you can choose to be sad. And as we've moved around, our children had to get used to, different area. I had to get used to a different spot, and but choose to make the very best of whatever your situation is. Go out and meet people. Learn from someone who grew up in a completely different area than you did, and just make a choice to be happy, make a choice to be positive, because it is your choice. And so, and like he said, take on learning from those who grew up completely different, who have completely different outlook than you do. You will grow so much from those that you meet, wherever they are. Everyone has a story, and value them no matter what they are, or where they've been, or the situation they've grown up in, because you'll be better for it. that's my, just be positive and be happy.
We just thank ICC, Dr. Allen, Dr. Bunch, Jim Ingram, and those who were part of the board who selected us. Again, we're very honored and humble. Thank you.
Thank you.